transfer rate because we have to transfer monies to pay stipends on a monthly basis. And we catered for a transfer rate based on bank information for $204 per US dollar, Guyana dollars per US dollars. We actually, on two occasions, one occasion, at one point part of the year, it was $205 Guyana dollars to the US dollars. And coming to the latter part of the year, we paid as much as $209 Guyana dollars for one US dollar. And that paid cost some of the shortfall.
Thank you, yes?
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. I again point to explanations being provided here, which fall far outside of what appears here. That's my understanding, Madam Chair. I'm not satisfied. The question of the postage, for example, how does the postage, the additional postage, fit? I can understand students that might have been left off the aircraft because they're not ready. So we have to find separate ways to them. What about the postage and personal effects? How would that be dealt with before? And the other point is this: the exchange rate, even then, has fluctuated. The Guyana currency has appreciated and depreciated during the course of the year. What the minister has indicated is not that it appreciated at the time, but that for the year as a whole, it was either more or less than they budgeted. What was the rate that they set? What was the rate that they set? And what was the average for the year?
Chairperson, I just said, we catered for an exchange rate of $204 Guyana dollars for one US dollar. Between the months of June and July, we paid $205 US dollars. From the months of October, September, October, and November, and December, we paid 208, and in December, 209 Guyana dollars for one US dollar.
And for the first half of the year, Madam Chair?
For the first half of the year,
That's why you
for the first half of the year, it fluctuated between 204 and 205. Every month, Madam Chairman, and not even every month, we have had fluctuations within a week, within days. We have transferred money on Monday, and on Thursday when we go to do money for another set of students, we get a different price.
Honorable Minister, there was another question. There was another question that Mr. Greenidge asked, which you didn't address. Something about postage reports.
Postage, Madam Chair, for the students' personal effects comes with them on the charter flights. We don't send their things separately. So in this instance, when the students were not on the flights, obviously when they were coming, they had to have their personal effects coming with them. When we say postage, it wasn't coming without them. It came along with them, but we have to pay additionally for it. So it came as hard for postage.
So 25 students came on regular commercial flights after the charge.
Pardon me?
Honorable Minister, you are saying, you stop short and say, whether these 25 came on the charter or they came on commercial flights.
No, ma'am, it's now stipulated here, it came on the regular flights.
They came on regular commercial flights.
As indicated here.
All right. Yes, Honorable Minister, Honorable Mr. Greenidge, is there another question you want?
No, Madam.
Thank you. Are there any other questions? Yes?
Thank you very much, Madam Chairman.
So the Honorable Minister informed the House when the 25 students returned to the adult and whether or which media house would have announced their arrivals. Thank you.
Honourable Member, is that, I don't know if that's a proper question to take. You can ask her that question and she can give you that answer in the regular because we're looking at the costs here. And I doubt whether she would have paid a media house. She hasn't had one. It's not that. Sure, that's a question you want to ask, or you want to ask what related to the expenditure. If there are no other questions, I'd like to call the question. Yeah. There's somebody else? Oh, Mr. Sharma. Yes, Mr. Sharma.
Thank you. Training 6302. In 2011, 228,637 million was paid in relation to training. In 2012, there was a double up in the amount of cost of training. It was in excess of 500 million. In 2013, there was an increase. The question is why the minister indicated that they had additional costs, reason for the increase. However, I would like the minister to explain the 6 sponsor students. Who are the 6 and the countries that they went to, the courses they proceeded on, and the duration of the course.
Just for clarity, the first part of your question that had to do with increases in the annual budgetary allocation. You want the minister to answer why those increased as well?
I was said to the state that for some reason there was like 300%.
Is there a question for the minister?
Yes, because there was sufficient amount of money I believe in the budgeted amount.
So you're saying that it wasn't necessary for this supplementary to come?
Yeah.
I just want to clarify what the question is so that we can get an answer.
Correct.
So your question is that there were increases over those years. So
Yes.
she should not have a need for this supplementary payment.
So that's the first.
That's the first part. And the second part is you want to.
Yes.
Yes, Honourable Minister can answer those questions.
Well, Chair, I thought I want to leave I went to pains just now to explain why I was standing here justifying this amount of money that we asked for and why it was needed. So I don't know what else I have to say.
Mr. Sharma is going to
Is
start.
there anything else I would like to say or I have to say? In relation, I think I stood here also in last year, 2012 and 2013, and explained why there was an increase in the scholarship allocation. How many additional scholarship students we had, where we had them, and what they were studying. I think I did all of that here. And in relation to this second question as to where the 6 students, the additional students are, 4 of them are undergraduate students. We have 2 at the University of the West Indies. We have 1 in Grenada. They're studying medicine. And we have 1 of the undergraduate students in the USA studying engineering science. We have 2 postgraduate students, 1 in the USA and 1 in Canada. 1 is studying neurology and the other one is studying pathology.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Mr. Sharma.
I asked for if they could identify the individual or the agency that they came from. I don't know if this is from the batch of graduates recently.
I think originally I heard the minister say two of the top achievers in CXE and two of the top achievers in K. Those
Are
are
you
four.
hearing the question? You want the names of the students? Of the 6 persons?
I heard minister,
Could that be provided?
You can have the names.
Yes, okay.
perhaps you can provide that to Mr. Sharon. Mr. Sharon, will that suffice?
Yes, Madam Chair, but a number of occasions from the last budget, a lot of promises was made and nothing was done.
All right, Honorable Minister, can you say how soon you will provide Mr. Sharon with that?
Probably before you leave this out.
So, yes, thank you. If there are no other questions, I'd like to put the question that item number 4, Agency Code 14141, Public Service Ministry, Public Service Management, Standards Part of this supplementary estimates. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against? Thank you, the ayes have it. We have 10 more minutes and I'm hoping before 4 o'clock, I'm hoping we can get to item number 5. Agency Code 21211, Ministry of Agriculture, Ministry Administration. I now pose the question. Yes, Dr. Smith.
Madam Chair, turning to the attachment that has been provided, I note that the information given there is that this work this amount is for the maintenance of ELI infrastructure in water use association areas, community development council areas, and neighborhood democratic council areas. Since a number of these areas are areas contained within areas, I'm wondering if the minister can indicate exactly where these areas are. If you don't have this right now, I'll be happy to get them.
Thank you, Honorable Minister.
Yes, Madam Speaker, I'll be willing to give the breakdown to the Honorable Member and to members in the individual CCs and WPAs. At this time, since I didn't anticipate we were going to get to this financial paper, I didn't prepare the list. But I could do that.
We'll be happy to receive.
Thank you, and I think the Honorable Minister of Agriculture usually keeps his word, so we look forward to that. Any other questions on this item? Yes?
Madam Chair, can the minister explain the difference between what the ministry regards as routine matters, maintenance, and urgent and unanticipated expenditures? Please, because I can't get that from this.
Thank you, Mr. Honorable Minister.
Yes, Madam Speaker. These are budgeted amounts that were not included in the estimates. In some of the WUA areas, there were additional land that came under cultivation. You know, a lot of the rice farmers are moving into areas that were previously not cultivated. And in areas like Kosia, Legwan, Blackbush, etc., an additional 4,100 hectares were put under cultivation, particularly for the second crop. These were not budgeted for, so additional drilling and irrigation had to be put in place to support those farmers. In addition, we made a decision during the year that some of our routine maintenance work, we changed how we used to do it. So for example, cleaning the moss in the canal folder area, those main canals, which used to be done 2 or 3 times a year, we began to do them monthly. We made that decision because of the where the pattern change is that what causing high levels of water in that area. So that's one type of expense. The second one was that we added to the fleet 10 new excavators and 6 mobile pumps. And the cost of operation of those also had to be included. And I know rather when was very good as well, didn't we anticipate adding those? And the answer is yes, we did. But when we budget, whether it is right or wrong, I'm just saying that when we budget, at the time, at the beginning of the year, we have to budget for those equipment that we already have in our possession. We're not allowed to budget for the operational cost of equipment that we may acquire later. And so the addition of these required us to incur additional expenses, and that's what's budgeted for.
Madam Chair, the Minister's response is right for a number of questions, all of which I think confirm the view expressed by the AG, that is the Auditor General several points, that we continue to abuse the contingency. It is not for routine matters. And the Minister started off by explaining budgeted amounts, that these figures pertain to budgeted amounts not included in the estimates. I don't know what that means. If it is budgeted, then it would be the estimates. Those were the words of the Minister. I'm quite sure I took them wrong. And I am a little puzzled. Secondly, if you are speaking to agriculture, and I'm sure he's not speaking to horticulture or tissue culture, any of those others. He's speaking about normal agricultural cultivation in the context of rice. He's speaking to a decision taken by farmers in the course of a year, that is in the course of 2013, to expand their acreage. And in that space of time, the ministry finds it appropriate to put in place DNI facilities to enable the farmers to carry that out. I suggest, Madam Chair, that the Minister would be hard pressed to explain how that would have been done within a year. The farmer's decision and then the decision of the ministry to be able to put the DNI in place in time for the farmer to carry out that work is most improbable within a year. The time span is normally longer. So we may be being provided with an explanation that is an ex-post rationalization of what the government is doing. But in terms of the sequence and the time of events, this doesn't work.
Part of the period, we should give the minister a chance to see whether he is hard pressed or he can tell us when the decision was first.
Now, Speaker, I use those words, but I was trying to explain that whilst we knew we were going to acquire more equipment and would perhaps budget for it, those are not included in the estimates since they are removed. Because the Ministry of Finance will allow us to budget for what we have, not for what we don't have. And so this is always the negotiation that goes on. That we budget for what we have and what we expect to have. But by the time the estimate comes out, it only will provide for what we have. So that's part. And so whether we're using the word rightly or not, we will forgive you. In terms of the new area, these are now exactly new lands that someplace else that were never in any cultivation area. So it's extending the for example, the irrigation system never reached the land north of the island that were traditionally used for cattle and so on that are now being converted into rice fields. And now we have to find ways of bringing the irrigation water to that level. The farmers don't come to us first to ask whether we could do this or not. And that's the challenge we face. This is quite different from identifying a set of land some distant place that we are now making ready for cultivation, like a road, which will take years. So this is a little bit different. How we do this. And then the additional cost of operating new equipment, not just in terms of fuels, but operators to operate the equipment.
Yes, Mr. Bennett.
I thank you, Mr. for the I still not satisfied, Madam Chair. The minister is suggesting that if he has approval for the 50 tractors that he has at the beginning of the year when the budget is passed, and he plans during the course of the year to acquire another 25, and the 25 will come during the course of the year as for the operating costs, fuel and so will have to be more. That the Ministry of Finance will not allow me to budget in order to take on board those high level costs. I sense, I believe that's what people say. I think that is confirmed. I don't think, well, let me just say, ask him to confirm.
Yeah.
Yes, Honorable Madam Speaker, we are allowed to budget for operational costs, for fuel, maintenance costs, etc., for what we have at the time. The additional cost of operation of what we may acquire during the year, once we do submit it to our budget, it's usually not included in this.
Honorable Mr. Bennett, I think what the minister is not making clear difference in is what they propose to the Ministry of Finance to what their expenditure would be. And after all discussion, because their proposal will be for 25 tractors, but like with employment, the estimates only cater for the people you have at the time. So if you employ new people, then it has to come additionally. I think that's what we're saying. So there's a difference between the proposals the ministry puts up and what goes into the estimate. And I think he is saying that if he had 100 tractors, that's all that would have come in the estimate with maintenance and so on to do. And if he got 25 more, that would not be needed.
Well, Madam Chair, I find that very difficult, very hard to do. And I would like the minister to provide us with the request that he made. The request that he made as regards the operating costs of the equipment vis-a-vis what he got again. Because I cannot see that he could have gotten approval to import or acquire additional equipment and that he would have budgeted operating costs which don't take that into account.
Perhaps, Mr. Green, we could ask the Minister of Finance to clarify whether that is the policy. Is that the policy that you don't get money for what you don't have? In the budget? The estimate? Because having been a minister myself at one lifetime, I know what we propose is not what we all want to get. The estimates always give us less than we ask for. So, Minister of Finance, can you say whether that's the policy of the ministry that you only get for costs of what you have and not what you intend to acquire?
Madam Chair, I'm not sure what exactly
Madam Chair?
The Minister of Agriculture?
No, the Minister of Finance is asking her as to what it is that he's supposed to tell her.
The Minister of Agriculture said in his answer that the estimates only give money for maintenance and operation of equipment that the ministry has on hand at the time of the budget. It does not give in the estimates monies for equipment that will be acquired during the year. I think that is the question. If the village finds that hard to believe, I'm just asking the Minister of Finance to verify that that's it.
Madam Chair, at the time of the budget, we provide our best estimate of what is required for the year. I thought that was reasonably evident.
I thank you very much, Madam Speaker. That was Madam Chair, that's exactly as I anticipated. I think for the Minister's explanation cannot stand.
Are there any other questions on this item? Yes?
Madam Chair, there's an item on this here, which indicates that $20 million was spent cleaning drains in Region 10. I wonder if the minister can, for the benefit of the House, give us an explanation as to where in the Region 10 these drains were cleaned and precisely the cost of each lot of work that was done. And more importantly, the runs that were done the number of runs that were done as part of the
You're asking for details. I don't know. Minister, can you give the details now or?
Madam Chair, I thought that I promised the honorable member, Dr. Rupert Trooper, that I will give the breakdown of all the CPCs and WUAs that received.
So the breakdown will be cheaper. Thank you. Any other questions? May I then put the question that, yes, Mr. Chairman. First of all, will you verify that you got the list from Mr. Westbrook?
No.
Yes. But your question has to be a list.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, in relation to municipal irrigation, there's a lot of confusion out there, Madam Chair, with farmers, the Water Users Association, and other bodies. Exactly what are the purpose for the equipment that natural irrigation have? Who utilizes the equipment? Farmers are confused because they would see private persons operating this equipment, and the equipment is operated in a manner which is not the resident believes is not suitable, because in some cases they are victimized. So, being the individual I am and television program I have a number of complaints in relation to that. So, if the Honourable Minister could clarify this, take this opportunity to say the equipments are utilized not by its officer but are contracted, so members of the public could be satisfied. In addition,
Mr. Chairman, hold on. That question is specific to this line item, or is it a general question about use of machine?
it's specific to this line item.
To this line item?
Yes.
And you'd like the minister to answer that?
Right.
That's it? That's it? Or we have another question?
There are more questions. I don't know if you want. So I don't know if you want the minister to answer and then.
No, in the interest of time, because we are over 4 o'clock, please ask the other one.
That is one. The other is in relation to the minister, the Honourable Minister alluded to.
That I'm talking about are the surrender funds. 2, the equipment being used, this is excavators, tractors, bulldozers, etc., are operated by Some are operated by people employed by the Ministry of Agriculture through the MDIA or through the RCs. Some are operated on contract, operated and maintained on contract that we tender out every year. I believe those are the ones who operate them. Is surrender pumps. Those are the questions.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would like to know if all the pumps are here and in operation, or if we have to wait a period where it will have to be installed, because some are fixed pumps. And in relation to this particular expenditure of 160, the minister did mention that yes, the contract of persons at two levels. First, persons that are staff of the National Drilling Irrigation, and there's persons that are contracted. Now, this 160 million, who will be going to? The employees, qualified employees of the National Drilling Irrigation, or contracted employees? Because this was a question that the Shadow Minister referred to, in terms that he was saying, why there is additional money being requested. Because if it's because of additional equipment, there is an integrated process in the budget which integrated capital and current. So if you put something in your capital budget for a vehicle, you integrate it with the current aspect of the budget. So if you have to budget for the fuel, that will cater for. But in addition to employment costs, if the employment costs that the minister is referring to is in relation to permanent staff, well then it will not be included in the budget. But if it's for contractors, the National Drilling Irrigation will include it in the cost. So I don't know the minister which has
Madam Speaker, I will distribute. I think there's an attachment to the financial paper that explains the breakdown. And so, Dr. Brian's first question relates to the first 52 million that were paid to WAs, CBCs, etc. There was the additional cost of operating the new equipment and so on. The breakdown as to the private sector contracts to operate and maintain the equipment and also supply.
So you will supply the details, the total, because that's what Mr. Chairman is asking for. The whole 160. So he's going a little further than that.
And finally, Madam Chair, is the situation of the cylinder pumps.
Yes, that was the first thing he asked, whether they were all here or
And we have to wait installation for
all working.
Two of the fixed site pumps have been installed, one at Rosal and one at Kanji. The other 6, we are building pump stations. One is being built at Canal number 1. One is being built at Potentia. One will be the first dual irrigation and drainage pump at High Ground. An additional pump is being placed at Lusidan. One will be placed at Lime. And we decided to place one at 3 Friends in a school.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Could I now put the question that item number 5, Agency Code 21211, Ministry of Agriculture, Ministry of Administration, stand part of the supplementary estimates. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against? Thank you. The ayes have it. Honourable members, it's 4:15, so you should take a break. But before we take the break, I'd like to say to the members of the House that the Honorable Minister of Public Service passed to me some notes with her answers. That is the breakdown of the names, Mr. Sharma. He acknowledges, received it. And also an answer to Honorable Member Annette Ferguson regarding a question you had asked. I'd like to thank you. Honorable members, we will now take suspension for an hour. We will come back at 5:15.